Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Frigiphobia, the Neon Goblin run-through of Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden from Wizards of the Coast. As always, I will be your Dungeon Master this evening. My name is Morgan, and I am joined by a full cast of my wonderful goblins. We've got Prescott back this week.
Hello.
We've also got the fantastic James.
Ahoy, hoy.
The phenomenal Griffin.
Pulpit them iron into you, lads.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, God.
The wondrous Kristen.
Howdy.
The imitable Alden.
Yes.
And the incomparable Cabin.
Hello.
I like that. That's all off the top of my head, not pre-decided or anything. I just love you guys.
It's
Well,
like
now you
you're a
ruined it
DM
because,
or
it
something.
was really smooth, and then you just really had to pat yourself on the back there.
And they all started with an I. That was,
I completely endorse patting herself on the back.
Me
Oh,
too.
I thought you just had a thesaurus in front of you.
You know, I have my moments. That's why I have to point them out when they occur. But to stay on track, as always, Icewind Dale is a horror adventure. There are some moments that you may find uncomfortable to view. We insist that you take whatever moments you need away from the stream to make sure that your experience with us is always a pleasant one. The players at the table are also aware that they have resources at their disposal and the liberty to interrupt gameplay at any time to make sure that their peace is maintained as well. Lastly, one more announcement for today. I'm sure everyone in the social media sphere has heard about the really unfortunate dark incident that happened actually here in our neighborhood recently with a really terrible act of violence against the Asian American community. Neon Goblin just wants to say that we support all of our fans and friends and family members, and we are particularly thinking about and grieving with the Asian American and Pacific Islander community at this time. If you're looking for a way to help, we have reblogged 2 different posts, one of which is from our friends over at Critical Role that list multiple organizations that are taking contributions both to help the families of the victims directly, as well as multiple organizations nationwide that work to advance, promote, and support the Asian American community here in the US. So please head on over to our Twitch channel, twitter.com/goblinneon. Check out those posts and follow those links for ways to support and donate. But without further ado, let's dive back into our wonderful escape fantasy world of Dungeons and Dragons. Who would like to vie for the inspiration this week with a recap of our last session? Calvin, go for it.
Woo! Okay, so the party had found and entered a series of caves on Loch Dinashir, which were believed to be the refuge of some missing fishermen. We had just entered when Zadrin was spirited away by some kind of mysterious force, and we were all confused, but went on anyway. And as we progressed through the caves, we found ourselves in conflict with various things, watery things, icy things, skeletal things, and finally made our way into the lair of a hag, which had unfortunately cooked and consumed the missing fisherman. After a couple of cheeky taste tests, we found the cauldron of the hag and started to roll it out of the cavern and had just exited the caves when, the session ended.
We might be dragging the cauldron.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It would be
That
too
was
smart to roll it.
Yeah.
Did we actually exit the cave, or did we just get right back to like that bridge area where so we're not fully like back at the lake yet?
Did I say
Correct.
exited or exiting?
I don't know.
'Cause
Not
No
sure.
way to know.
Both work.
But
exiting
either
the
is
caves.
close enough. You were cutting back southward along this frozen river when you saw Zadrin waiting for you in just about the exact same spot that he had previously disappeared from. So, Zadrin, you have been returned to the material plane by your patroness, who accompanied you and watched your party do work that she approved of. So as you see them coming back along this frozen path, how would you like to greet them?
What happened after the hag? I was unable to pass and see what y'all did. But it seems glad you survived. That's quite a mightily protected tomb.
What are you saying that you saw what we did up until the hag?
After the hag is where I could not follow anymore. I was stuck in the ethereal plane, unable
Okay.
to interact.
Ethereal plane. That's
You
good.
I'm sorry, you were stuck in the ethereal plane.
Yes. What y'all just went through was a tomb, protected by Tahir, I think. And I was being a servant of the Raven Queen. I was unable to do anything within the hallowed space.
Ah, okay.
Yes. Which is quite concerning with the undead frost giant there.
Well, it's all right. We took care of it, my friend.
I'm sorry, you were
Yes.
stuck in the ethereal plane.
Yes, I was stuck.
Could you-
I had no
Is-
ways
Alright.
out of it.
You know,
I was
Is
just at
this
the mercy of my
something-
patron.
Is this something that's gonna happen pretty often?
Yeah, I'm wondering how many other hallowed grounds we'll have to intrude on where you'll be plucked from our group. Right?
This
when we
possibly
get
happened to
killed.
us?
I don't think so. Seeing how this shouldn't be too often or often at all. Seeing how it appears that the undead frost giant seemed to be brought back by the light of Auril based on the light in its eyes. We might be able to entreat in helping other deities with their hallowed spaces. So we
Okay.
might be able to-
All right, I'm going to
Should be
put
able
in a good
to,
word for Tempest right now.
yeah,
Hey, Tempest,
exactly.
this guy's
So you're
cool.
saying it's
Please let
mystically
him come in.
complicated.
Yes.
Yes, it gets in the gods, and they have all contracts with each other.
Mhm,
It's
mhm.
weird.
Mm.
A lot of contracts with this person, that person. If that one attacks this one, it just makes a whole situation where they all fight each other.
I failed my metaphysics class, so
This is
All
why
right.
I don't have a god. I don't think I could leave this plane.
yeah,
Oh
I've
no,
never
it's
been.
really nice. You
It's
know,
not been
I don't
unnecessary.
know.
a place you can go afterwards. You know, it's good to know that if I fall again, at least there's some place. You know.
Yes. And we'll make sure that my patron shepherds you there safely.
Oh yes, burn my body to ashes, please. I don't want to come back as one of those things.
Will do.
okay, cool.
you.
You
Will
got
do.
it.
That was kind of the practical default response anyway. I think.
Yes, good. I'm glad.
Mhm.
It's actually now that you've mentioned it, does anyone have sort of a metaphysical reason we shouldn't burn your body? Because
It's
know.
probably our go-to. Yeah.
Might be harder
Yeah,
to
be-
burn mine.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh yeah, mine too.
You could dismember me if you want.
Osborne, why would you be hard to burn?
Because I have draconic blood in my heritage.
You could
That's cool.
That
you
is
could put
cool.
me in a
Thank you.
stew if you'd like as well.
I'm not
That'd
going
be-
to eat you,
that'd be
Granny.
fine. Whatever you want.
Not
If
gonna eat
I'm
Yeah,
dead, I'm
why'd
dead.
y'all
It doesn't
taste-
matter.
Why'd y'all taste the stew that y'all knew was made of humanoid?
Granny
I
and the
didn't either.
Goblin are very comfortable with cannibalism.
That is
You
alright.
know how when you stand with someone on the edge of a cliff, there's a part of you that's like really insistently demanding that you push them off?
It was not
Kind of,
cannibalism,
but yeah.
Wilhelm. There was no goblin in that stew.
That's
I'll take it,
true.
my
I don't think they caught a changeling and threw
Or
him in.
dragonborn, as far as I could tell.
Huh?
I mean, I don't have the most sensitive
But
palate.
I'm
but-
very
argue
uncomfortable
with
that
that.
you see me as food sometimes. Then
Well,
If it is
you're not,
warm and
you're
nutritious-
not food because you're alive.
Super wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Gotta
Well
be
we
said.
needed you there,
Thank you.
Zadrin, to just really talk them off that ledge. Yeah.
Did you
The
see my
point
one?
is,
done it.
It was an intrusive thought
All right. Well,
where it was like,
Did you see
don't you
it?
want to know what that tastes like? And I was like, yeah, I do want to know what it tastes like.
well, we're pretty beat up here. I know you're still feeling probably good to go, Zadrin. But do we want to
Yes,
rest before we continue?
I think we should
back?
get the hell out of this cave first.
Yeah, we should leave the cave.
All right.
Oh,
So
you
Is
mean
there anything else to the cave? that we noticed? Like any other side passages?
You did see
Yes.
what appeared to be some sort of stone walkway that the rest of the party came south underneath. You can't see into either chamber, but you can see that passage continues on either side. There were also the two other entrances from the lakefront that were elevated above the lake level.
Yeah, we'd have to do some climbing if we wanted.
It's
to go
probably
check it out.
nothing important.
Yes, there was no signs when looking around of the fishermen going up the side of the cliff. We just saw tracks and a smell coming from this cave.
Probably let's use our thinking caps here. We got attacked by harpies, a harpy's nest. I don't want to fight them no more.
Yeah, nope.
I'm just going to point out that the last time that we decided to do exploring, we all almost died. So from now on, if we're doing exploring, I vote against it.
Does anybody need a kind tap on the shoulder?
Yes, I could help with that too. Who's hurt?
I'm all right.
Yeah, all right.
Granny, I hate to call a team meeting at a time like this, and I won't. I don't think, thinking about it, I don't think we need one. Tap on the shoulder. What? That means absolutely nothing to me.
She means magical healing, my friend.
Yes.
And I know that based on inference, but I'm saying that, like, if we're in sort of a difficult life or death type situation, I just want to be 100% on the same group page that we're not going to be using a fun little talk around.
Oh, next time I will say, would anybody like for me to use my druid spell Cure Wounds in order to heal you?
I know. I'm
maybe just a little tap on the shoulder. You know what?
I would call maybe even pedantic is the wrong word.
I'm fine with tap on the shoulder.
Like,
maybe we could just call that the new healing. Tap on the shoulder. Huh?
Look.
Wilhelm, you hear the ice under your feet beginning to.
Well, let's move on.
As you look and see the cauldron slowly beginning to sink through the ice.
I keep moving. I'm like, can't hold still. This thing's a little hot. And you like kind of starts walking in a circle while everyone's talking.
All right, ice.
How are we gonna get that in the boat?
All right, nope. I'm going on. Sorry, bye everyone.
Nope. I agree. Wilhelm is correct.
Gently, you lower it over the waterfall. We don't want to break the ice again.
There is already a pretty sizable patch of the ice at the bottom of the waterfall that is broken away from where you had your previous encounter with the water weird.
I hate
and
this place.
Gran, you do recall that it was shallow enough there for you to stand and only be about chest high in the water.
Oh.
If I need to check, just let me know what it is. Other than that, Wilhelm's going.
What are you trying to do? Just come down?
Just come on down.
If you're doing it carrying the cauldron down, give me an athletics check.
Yeah. Oh no. Okay, a 13.
13 is enough. It's definitely clumsy, and as you scale down with it sort of strapped across your back, it does impact the rock wall a couple times and give out a ringing that echoes through the cave system, but you don't hear anything stirring in response, and you make it safely to the bottom. Excellent. As you step on the lower level, you definitely hear slight cracks from your weight settling on what is already a compromised ice sheet, but it seems like it'll hold you if you don't stay in one place too long.
All right. Well, Wilhelm's moving then. He knows that he's got to keep moving.
Okay. Everyone else follows?
Yeah, I'll follow him.
Follow
Yes,
you.
please.
Oh yeah.
All right. Give me either an athletics check or an acrobatics check to scale down without falling into the icy water. Because you are scaling ice.
Can I offer an alternative, just a personal alternative, seeing as last time I tried to do this one, I woke up a water weird?
It's up to your party.
Come on, my friend. If there was a water weird to wake, it would have woken with me.
If I were to get big, if I were to enlarge, and I stepped down into the water, just sort of like it, because it would be like waist high a 10-foot thing if I were large. So,
Correct.
like, it would make this probably less complicated for just me. If I waited till last and then did that, would that function?
Sure. How many times can you do that per rest?
One more.
Yeah. I would allow you to scale down without a check, just yourself doing that.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna wait for everyone else to go and then do that.
I got a 4.
You're still going to get wet. Your lower half, all your clothing, your boots are going to be submerged in very cold water.
Not if I take them off first.
That's the way to do it.
That is true.
Pants.
I rolled an 8.
I got a 9.
God.
Oh, wow, guys. Okay.
I also got a 7.
Oh my god. y'all are really tired, and Zadran, you're kind of getting, it's almost like coming from a long voyage at sea. You're getting your land legs back from drifting in the ethereal plane.
Still tingly there. Like
Bryson's taking his pants off.
And yeah, as the last of you starts to scale down, you see Bryson beginning to shed layers. But yeah, those of you that failed your check, you take 1 point of bludgeoning damage as you impact the ice below. Your clothes do get a little wet from where you fall on compromised ice, but easily enough you can get back up quickly and not fully submerged because there's nothing to drag you down this time.
Well, that's nice.
That is very nice.
And then you see a giant Rayston essentially stepping down almost like Attack on Titan style, half naked.
Just from the waist down.
Don't worry, guys. I don't have any genitals right now.
Oh, okay. Well, that's...
Nice.
Now he does look like a Titan.
It is literally the easiest thing in the world for a changeling to keep his modesty. So you're all welcome.
That's great.
Really changes the picture I have in my head, though. It's unfortunate.
Well, but it can, I mean, it can be whatever, you know? I don't want to get weird, but it is weird.
Oh, no, I was getting super weird with it. Anyways, I have to keep moving, so he keeps moving. Yeah.
As you draw nearer to the exit of the caves, Wilhelm, you can feel that the packed ice here is thicker, especially since the wind is more frequent. It continuously chills and refreezes surface moisture. So once you get close to the entrance, you feel more at ease with your footing. You're able to return to the equivalent of a shoreline easily enough. Your boat is still there, as is the abandoned rowboat from the fishermen. What would you like to do?
Maybe we should put the cauldron in the rowboat and tow it behind.
My thoughts exactly.
Yeah. It looks heavy.
Make it so.
All right. So you load the cauldron into the previously abandoned rowboat, lash it to the back of the skiff that you were provided by Captain Arlagath's man back at the docks, and set out over what thawed portion there is to Lacton share. Who wants to give me the survival check this time to make it back without issue?
Oh,
this is going to be a slightly higher DC now that you are towing an unattended vessel.
Okay. Survival check.
Well, I mean, I'll have a plus.
Make it an advantage, or one of you each can roll.
I would like to aid Zadran.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's not use that dice. Okay, good. That'll be a 22.
That is certainly plenty. Zadran, you are familiar with this terrain. You're not by any means an accomplished sea captain or anything like that, but you know how to read the weather, you know how to read the ice, and you're able to navigate your party safely back to where it is solid enough ground to once again pull the vessel up onto the packed ice platforms and begin trekking back to Easthaven. So let me move y'all back to
the map.
The map. All right. So at this point, it's just after midday. You set out at a decent hour in the morning, and it didn't take terribly long to navigate to the Cauldron Caves and back. There is normal dockside business when you arrive. You can see further down the harbor, the ferry is unattended without anyone visible currently on the deck or milling about it. You see there is one of the town guard or the equivalent thereof sort of lazily leaning back against one of the posts of the dock, just having a conversation with a fisherman. He glances out and then does a double take as he sees your approach and hails you down. It's a pretty simple matter of returning your skiff to its proper place, but as you bring the other rowboat up behind you and begin unloading this massive, beautifully made cauldron, the soldier kind of cants his head. What's that you got there? And did you find the blokes?
Oh, we found them.
I'm sorry, my friend. They were all eaten by a hag.
They're in the cauldron. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have to specify where they were.
Yes.
It's cleaned. We cleaned.
Why did you bring it back?
Well, it's a large magical object.
Look.
At least she
Evidence.
can't use it anymore
Oh.
because she's dead.
That's right.
A couple of the fishermen's heads around you just turn at the mention of a magical item, and the guard sort of, well, I will be sure to inform Captain Arlagath of your return promptly. In the meantime, I think it best that I take this under the custody of the township and bring it to the Easthaven town speaker.
I mean,
Sorry,
that's,
under whose authority?
The town speaker.
We'll join you. We'll take it with you. Can you lift this by yourself?
Hold on.
Mhm.
We are in
compensation.
the cauldron is in the custody of us on account of we have it.
yeah, but you know, if Arlagath wants it, you know.
Possession is
Maybe that's
9/10 of our negotiating stance. You guys.
Well, you can certainly take that up with the captain. You are more than welcome to accompany me to the town hall. That is likely where we will find her as well.
I would
Is
love
this
to
your
take that up with the
I'm-
captain, yes.
Excellent.
Okay.
I'm dragging it.
Yeah, we're keeping it.
Do you need... okay.
We're
Nope.
bringing it.
Don't need any
We
help.
can bring it, but we're bringing it.
Fine. Savin, get the boats ordered, yeah? All right. And he begins leading the way into Easthaven towards the center. Again, Easthaven is one of the larger townships in 10 towns. It's got tightly packed buildings of plaster and occasionally very worn, mildewy wood that is not faring well under the rime of the Frost Maiden. But it becomes tight passing at some points to haul this very large, cumbersome cauldron on your back, Wilhelm. Give me an athletics check just to see if you can stay strong enough to tote it this distance.
18.
18, more than enough. You've definitely got some sweat on your brow that very quickly flakes off as it begins to freeze. There's sort of steam coming off the exposed portions of your skin from the body heat being created by the exertion, but you don't waver. Your muscles are burning, but they are staying fast as you continue pushing in, and you come across a larger sort of almost stucco type building that has its framework in these heavy dark timber planks. It almost looks like a Tudor style facade. It's got what appears to be a freshly shingled roof. It is certainly the most well maintained of the buildings here in the town. And the soldier leads you to just outside the door and looks down as he takes a couple steps up towards the platform there. Wait here. I will fetch Captain Arlagath and the speaker if they are available.
You do that.
Don't go. Actually, oi! And he jogs the last couple steps up to the door, pushes it open. Just keep an eye on our friends here. Make sure they don't need anything. You see two more guards step out and flank the door on either side and give a nod. They don't seem, suspicious of you or anything, but they're definitely just keeping an eye on your presence there. So,
Wilhelm,
Yes, my friend.
I don't feel like these people are a threat to you.
I agree.
No one's a threat right now, Osborne.
I think they might be a little big for the britches.
Well, we will let we will let Rayston do our negotiating for us. He is from a place where this is commonplace.
All right, yeah. Well, Captain Arlagath is possibly a little sweet on me, so
Well, if you think that you can help smooth the way, you come up with a plan right now. You
Well,
do.
I mean, if she addresses me directly, then
How do we call a team meeting again? I forgot.
Team meeting.
Team meeting.
yeah.
And then he's like, oh, you guys, look, she obviously is totally into my buddy Osborne here. So if you want to use that in your negotiation tactics, because I mean, look at him. He's so handsome.
Right, well,
Wow.
Yeah.
thank you.
You hear a snort from one of the guards standing just a few feet away.
This is a team meeting. This is private.
Hey, you cut that out. Yeah. All right. Sounds good.
So, okay, before we free up the team meeting, I want to point out that what we're doing now is we're negotiating. All right? Is that Osborne? Do we understand what negotiating is?
Well, I do have a 3rd level spell slot left. If that's what you mean.
This is why I wanted to make this clear verbally before we moved on.
No, I think he understands.
Negotiating is the part where we're all polite to each other.
I'll be very polite, Captain Holligan.
Unless they try to stab us to death. Unless and until, all right? Osborne, I'm looking you in the eyes. Until that happens, and I'm also establishing a keyword.
Okay.
When I say kumquat, that means you can shoot a fireball at someone. Until I say kumquat, no fireballing. At least during negotiation.
What if someone shoots you first?
If I'm dead, feel free to kill anyone. I won't care.
Agreed. Then yes. All right. I can go with that.
Yes. Terms are acceptable.
I messed this up last time. All right. Last time we were negotiating, I was the one who put a stick in the spokes. All right. I just want to make sure it goes all right this time.
What are we negotiating again?
Well, I have no idea.
Presenting Speaker Danith Whalen. And you turn to the doors and see a human man in very surprisingly patched, run-down clothing, dark grays and worn tans and hides that are trimmed with very splotchy, almost matted-looking fur. This man looks like he has not slept in a while. He's got dark circles under just smoky gray eyes and a disheveled mess of brunette hair atop his head. A very unkempt beard that's sort of growing a bit longer on one side where it looks like he might have been resting or had his face in his hand and it's just sort of pressed against one cheek. And he looks out over your group and says, hi, I'm Speaker Whalen. I understand that you have recently done a service at the behest of Captain Arligath and might have come across something interesting in your adventures. Please, by all means, let's take a step inside.
Thank you, Speaker. We would be delighted.
The soldiers step aside to make room, and he leads you into the interior of the town hall. You first press through what seems like a sort of entrance foyer with a door immediately on your left and another set into the wall on your right. He leads you through this left side door and you enter a long chamber with sort of a raised platform that looks like it might be a sort of gathering area for sort of public speeches where chairs might be set up to flank this stage across the front and either side. Currently, there is no such assembly. There's just a small wooden table with a few flanking chairs set in each corner of the room with a burning oil lantern on each. He grabs two chairs from one table as he passes it and drags them to another and sits in one of them, kicking his heels up on the table and crossing his feet at the ankles as he folds his hands. So, have a seat. Tell me what you got. What happened?
Well, we, in the course of investigating on behalf of Captain Arligath, a group of missing fishermen who, unfortunately, we did find deceased, we found a hag. And this hag was in the possession of what appears to be a magical cauldron.
Huh, this one here?
Yes, indeed.
My hulking, impressive friend, if you don't mind bringing it a little bit closer, we'll take a look. Ding! as you set it upon the stone floor. He leans forward in his chair, sort of propping a hand on his elbow as he peers at it. Certainly, yeah, it looks nice enough to be magical. Definitely no survivors.
Unfortunately,
no.
it is pretty much 100% on that one.
Jeez, Maggie's gonna be heartbroken.
They also had to deal with harpies on the way in. So between the harpies and the hags, very little
Those
left.
are a threat we are
Horribly,
familiar with.
Horribly dangerous area.
There
Absolutely.
were no survivors on the other side either.
If it, you know what, we should
That's
mention
not necessarily true.
while we're talking about it, those caves on the eastern side of Loch Dinishir, stay the hell away from them because they are
Mm.
absolutely.
We tend to. It's a
incredibly
giant
hazardous.
stomping grounds, from what we understand.
Yeah, sacred to them. So very much
Ah.
contraindicated. Any kind
Did you
of.
meet some while you were there?
No, I can read giant. There was
Exactly.
inscriptions.
Oh, that's well. That would, yeah, it's great, fantastic. That's impressive. But this, do we know what this cauldron does? What you said, a hag? What was she? Was she just cooking with it? Do we know it's magical?
Yes, it has radiates some sort of ridiculous heat, at least.
We're 100% it's magical. It heats. It does heat by itself. We actually haven't had the opportunity to do much testing vis-a-vis its specific effects.
Did you say Captain Alagath was around here somewhere?
Yes, she should actually be joining us before terribly long. She's finishing up with the intake of fishermen for public indecency at the moment.
Public indecency?
Oh dear.
You cannot take your pants off in public, my friend.
Why would you? It's negative whatever degrees.
Oh,
Yeah.
you get a little drink in you. Sometimes you just gotta get naked, you know?
That is
That
bizarre.
is
in a
I mean,
place
having to
like
relieve
this.
yourself in
Yeah,
an
that's
alley
odd.
isn't, decent, is it?
Mr.
It's not-
Speaker, I could identify this cauldron for you if you're
Oh.
so kind as to lend me and us a pearl.
Oh.
I'm sure you have a couple lying around as the speaker.
Yeah, just any old pearl.
Just a 100 GP pearl. I'm sure a man of your means.
The pearl in my mind got a lot bigger, unfortunately.
That was.
I can-
You had me going there.
I can ask around. I can probably borrow one. Sure. Yeah. Can you give me about an hour?
You take as long as you need. If you don't want this identified now, you're fine. We can wait an hour.
You could get
Do
us a
some
round of drinks in the
experimenting.
meantime.
You know that I think we can manage. Gregor, if you don't mind, if you will run to the kitchens and fetch our fantastic friends here just some of the usual slop. It's not great, but
I'm sure it's
we
good.
do what we can in hard times, isn't that right?
Absolutely.
I've
Yeah.
had worse
I
recently.
believe you. You, and he sort of takes a pointed look at the cauldron and then back to you and then to the cauldron and then back to you. No, of course not. But yes, Gregor will be back momentarily with some drinks and some light refreshments. I will go speak to a couple of my friends here in town that have a decent amount of jewels to their name. Before I do, surely you can understand that while performing a contracted work for the town, any recovered magic items are therefore belonging to the town per said contract.
Oh, now to
Mm,
contract work out, you have to have us sign something, don't you? I'm afraid that this can best be described as a favor.
Yeah, I would. It was more like an ask.
We were promised no
contract.
recompense, and we asked for none. It was just something between us and Captain Arlagath. So I'm afraid that any kind of contracted work, this is definitely not.
Really, because my understanding was that you struck a verbal contract with the captain that we would be providing city resources to look into a potential issue that you had with a unseen and previously unheard about Durgar presence?
Well,
Nope.
that's a very interesting interpretation of events. I was under the impression that we were lending private resources to an operation by the city to uncover a criminal ring operating out of the docks.
I see.
Mm.
Give me a persuasion check, Royston.
Alrighty.
I want Kevin to be my lawyer if I ever need one.
Ha, 21.
Right. He sort of reaches up and scratches at his unkempt beard and then pushes his hand mindlessly through his equally unkempt hair. Well, to be fair, Captain Arlagath is not always the most eloquent. It sounds like this may simply have been a miscommunication. Fair enough. We are more than happy to pay you for your services and for the securing of this item, depending what it is that we discover it can do. But of course, that requires payment, and identifying the features of this object require something of value as well. So I will go about my previous task. Here's Gregor with your refreshments. He'll keep an eye on things. Just make sure you're not bothered while you wait here. Captain Arlagath should be along shortly. Be back in a bit. And he strolls off in his hard-soled boots that sort of tap across the stone as he makes to exit. You can see him sort of folding his arms and mindlessly scratching at his chin as he thinks over all the information that you have presented to him. The generic NPC soldier Gregor does bring a platter of small tankards that have just a very simple ale, as well as a pitcher of water and a sliced loaf of what looks like it might be probably a day old bread and some assorted like cheeses and fruits. Just a very budget charcuterie board essentially is placed on the table in front of you.
Oh, I tuck in.
Granny,
Vulcan, Gran,
Granny,
can we talk for a minute?
you're from around here.
Yes.
What was that about? What are they going to do with this bloody great big cauldron anyway?
Morgan, do I have any idea what they would want specifically with magic items? Is it just the money?
Could be.
Okay.
Give me just a generic intelligence check.
Definitely
Wow,
my strong
Kristen not
suit.
making up something. Right with
Wilhelm.
that.
Well, I wanted to make sure there was nothing.
Wilhelm, is that getting heavy?
It's
can-
it's down
Put me
below
out.
now, my friend.
You can set it down.
It's sit down.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a done.
You're still very tense.
I
You
got
should-
a 13.
13.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely don't know of any specific motive that might be behind him really wanting to secure this object. You do know that a lot of times the organizations of the towns will purchase any high value items that are recovered in Icewind Dale to fund the city coffers, that sometimes they'll even go so far as to contract individuals to go out looking in known ruins or places of interest for anything of value. Could just be looking to inflate the coffers a bit, especially with the way times have been falling harder and harder as the Rhine continues.
Here's the thing. It's just for the money. So if we want it, we should just keep it. I don't think they're going to push very hard. And we can give them a
Actually,
couple of gold in
I
return.
think we're just trying to get paid for it, Granny.
Yeah, point of order.
Oh, we want the money. What are we going to do with the money?
Well, I wanted to talk to you and Vulcan about that. Vulcan, you own, or at least partly own, a business in the 10 towns, correct?
That's right outside, right the outskirts, yeah.
Sure, but like any law that applies to you is going to apply to the rest of the area, surely.
Surely.
Your shop is not considered part of 10 Towns.
Nope. No, it's not. I am outside the law, bounds of the law.
Yeah. Well, Gran, you too, right? Do you know what exactly the procedure is for setting up a business in the area? Because if we're going to be doing contract work and negotiating with government bodies for compensation, we need to have some legal standing here, not just be a group of ersatz individuals traipsing around grabbing things.
Still help with that.
I didn't get the impression that they had much of a governing body watching everything.
Well, the governing body here is named Waylon, and he's extremely interested in purchasing some of our salvage.
Yes, because he just wants money for his great town. Now, are you suggesting we form some sort of LLC or something?
I think it might be a good idea to incorporate.
I'm not.
I don't
I'm not
understand that.
against it.
Maybe a mercenary group? I understand mercenary groups.
I think that given the climate in the area, it might make more sense to be a salvage group.
You hear as you finish that sentence, here you are, and I thought you were adventurers. You sound more like lawyers, as Captain
I-
Arlagath enters from the wings.
Am both
Oh.
by training.
Remind me to not pick any fights with you.
Well, law officer. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a
Bailiff?
bit of a policeman.
Kindred spirit, then. Anyways,
Well-
I heard you found what was left of our missing citizens.
Like a dog.
Yes, unfortunately.
That is unfortunate indeed. One of them, Glenn, was expecting a young one any day now. Oh well. That's what the town does. We will support the family until she can get back up on her feet. Speaking of, I hear Waylon was in quite a hurry to speak to one of his buddies. You found something interesting there. Is that the magical pot of who knows what?
Yep.
She walks over and there's sort of the clinking of her armor as she crouches down and tilts it away, admiring the beautiful relief carving on the side of it. And a hag was using this to
Cook
what,
people.
do you know how long she'd been there?
Nope. She did not leave a journal, unfortunately.
It looked as though she had inhabited that particular den for some time, though.
Yes.
Judging by the amount of skeletal remains, not to
Yes.
put too fine a point on it.
Ugh, terrible. Well, I
No.
thank you for dispatching her the way you did.
Captain, a quick question, if I may.
One
Why
second.
would that group of fishermen go to this cave?
I can answer that for you. The
Oh.
harpies, they sang their beautiful song, and the fishermen were like, "Oh my God, the song is so beautiful." And then the hag was like, "Hey, thanks." And so, really, we should probably go kill those harpies too. But you
That
know,
sounds
maybe
really
later.
convenient. We
That's
already killed a
right.
bunch of harpies anyway.
Alternately, they could have just been seeking shelter from severe weather. I believe that they went missing
During the storm.
on a trip, at least. I don't
sense,
know
makes sense.
about the storm's connection to it.
Right. I'm sorry. I see you were in a hurry. I was just yes, please go. I'm sorry.
Well, while you are speaking of the harpies, she's sort of doing the thing where she's half turned towards you to indicate that she's listening, but she steps over to Gregor's side and mutters something to him that you can't quite make out. He gives a nod and leaves the room as she reapproaches. It's
I hate
just
when
she
people do
and
that.
your group now. Listen, I could probably get a chewing out for this, but I am of the belief that if you render a service, recompense is due. So, and she reaches into her vestment and pulls forth a very finely woven, beautiful silver satchel that's about the size of her fist and tied with a sort of glittering silver thread. It's got beautiful embroidered runes upon it. She hands it out to you, Gran. This was among the items that we confiscated from Dizan before his execution yesterday. I have no idea what this does, but it is my understanding you will be performing some type of magic to identify magical properties soon. So I figured if no one knew that this had not previously been in your possession, it wouldn't raise any eyebrows if you identified it as well.
Well, that is wonderful. Thank you.
Most
It's the
kind of
least I can do. Of course. Kevin, what is Royston's passive insight?
Royston's passive insight is 14.
You can tell that she was kind of rushed in handing it over, and she seems a little nervous about having done so, but her words were genuine when she said that she was giving it because she felt you had earned it. So once you identify it, I'll let you know what you've got.
Hmm.
Is there anything else you wanted to discuss with Captain Arlagath before Speaker Wayland's return?
I had a question.
Okay.
Captain Arlagath, I don't mean to put you in any kind of false position, but you have proven yourself in our limited acquaintance to be a woman of integrity, and frankly, we're negotiating with the town speaker, and I just wondered if you had any particular insight into his character. That
Wayland is not exactly the first man you would think of when it comes to appointing a town speaker. He's not from any sort of noble background. He's just always been a well-regarded citizen here in Easthaven. So when the previous speaker aged out of needing to perform his duties efficiently, we held a town-wide vote, and Wayland was appointed by a rather hefty margin, no less. He wasn't exactly keen on the new position, but he's borne it as well as a man without any diplomatic training can when put in such a position. He usually has me deal with the less agreeable individuals that seek to exploit the town's resources or otherwise cause trouble.
so you believe him to be in possession of integrity?
I would certainly like to think so. He's never shown me otherwise.
Thank you. Your insight is invaluable.
Is it?
Certainly could be.
Anytime. And she takes one of the mugs of ale that was prepared for your party and takes a draught from it. It is not much longer before Wayland does reappear, coming from the same interest that he had led you in from. Well, I think I've got exactly what we need. A 100 gold piece pearl, was it?
Yes.
And he comes over to you, Vulcan, with a very small, like black suede bag and pulls from it a nice, unpolished, unfinished pearl in its raw state, but it is sizable, and you feel like it will suit your purpose.
I got this. Will you give me another hour?
What? It takes an
Ritual
hour?
cast.
That
Is
should
there
only be
anything
10
in
minutes.
particular we need to do to include that bag that we have?
Which bag?
Sorry?
You know the bag we have?
Oh,
no,
that
this
bag,
is just
yeah.
a purely
Uh,
inter-party matter.
I have a bag.
Point of order. Generally,
the
if you want to
second.
do that, you'd need 2 pearls. Just
Is that okay? We'll wait on
Mm,
that then, I
yeah.
guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cast it multiple times.
yeah.
I can cast it as many times as I like. I'm gonna cast it right now.
Are you
Give
ritual
me-
casting it?
11 minutes.
Yeah, I thought it was 10.
Does it
minutes.
say it consumes the pearl?
It does not say it consumes.
It doesn't say it consumes a pearl, but it doesn't.
If it doesn't say it consumes the
does
pearl, it does not consume the pearl. I will not look for another one of these.
I don't know.
I'm telling you right now. I promise you, I would not lead you astray.
I mean, we could call Jeremy Crawford.
I'll
Do you
look
not
into
call
that.
Jeremy Crawford? It doesn't say it's
I
consumed.
got him in my. Yeah, you can just call him right up.
That's something that I've heard different viewpoints on before as far as the consumption of material components. For now, we'll say
What?
if it specifies it consumes, then it does. Otherwise, you can keep it.
Cool.
I will say with the exception of resurrection magic.
Oh,
But
those
this will
always
say-
say consumed.
Yeah,
Those
Yeah,
do
that's-
mention.
I
specify.
figured.
Those
You'll
all-
I
specify.
thought so.
This is all
So, yeah.
PHB stuff. It's in there.
The pearl will
11
remain.
minutes.
I heard back from Jeremy Crawford, and he said the same thing you just did, Morgan. So
You
That
are a
must be
liar. You are a liar, and will spend 900 more years in David Jones's locker.
Is this Vulcan casting Identify?
Yes,
man.
yes, it
That's
is.
that's what it
go.
looks like to do that.
I dig it.
He's
This very ethereally intriguing looking fire genasi with his ashen gray skin and the occasional reddish golden glow that
Oh.
appears around his eyes and where the veins are closest to the skin. Begins doing a
Dancing.
jig as he casts his spell.
I
I
recognize
swear to
wisp
God, I've
of,
seen this before.
that's pretty weird.
Need a bread break?
That's what it is. I was at a party at Baldur's Gate, and there was a drunken spider folk.
Spider
what?
folk.
Spider folk.
It's a cat.
Big spidery man, drunk.
Ooh.
And he was dancing like
Waylon
that.
kind of looks at you, and a Spider-Man?
I don't know. I don't know what they're called. I call
Did
them
he-
a spider
What
folk
does-
because
What
that's
does a
it seems like
Spider-Man
it's
do
called.
exactly?
Did he do whatever a spider
Whatever a
can?
Spider-Man does?
Spins a web.
I'm sure they can swing from webs,
Yes.
maybe.
Of what size?
Probably pissed off Loth.
Any size?
Catch a fly.
Catches who? Just like flies?
Anyone. A thief,
Yeah.
A
maybe.
thief, maybe? That's.
It would definitely set up webs in your home if you
Oh
were.
man,
a
I gotta
spider
look
to
out.
catch
I gotta
thieves.
look out for this spider guy.
Yeah.
I would like to apologize to all of our viewers.
Okay. So, Vulcan, after 11 minutes of casting, you are able to identify this of the Cauldron of Plenty, which is a wondrous item. It is for context, it is 4 feet wide and has a mouth 3.5 feet in diameter. Can hold up to 30 gallons of liquid. If water is poured into this cauldron and stirred for 1 minute, it transforms into a hearty hot stew, which can provide a nourishing meal for up to 4 people per gallon. So that's 120 meals per use of this cauldron.
Ooh.
Why?
Definitely feed a
Stew
star.
Are
remains
the
hot
uses
while
limited?
within.
Are the uses limited?
The stew remains hot while in the cauldron, then cools naturally after it's removed. The outside of the cauldron remains safe to touch despite the heat of the stew, and it can use this feature 3 times. It then ceases to function until the next dawn, when it regains all of its uses.
Wow.
This is an automatic famine stopper.
Yeah. Are you gonna tell everybody about that there, Griffin?
Vulcan.
Vulcan.
So Vulcan, what do you relay to the party and the town speaker and guard that are also standing present?
If you add water to this cauldron, it will make delicious hearty stew. 3 gallons makes a lot of stew. 30 stews, in fact.
Well,
That is
120. 30 gallons, 120 meals.
Three
Well,
times per day.
well, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
That we need to sell this to this town because it would be very good for them and really, really awkward for us to
No.
carry.
Hot tub.
No.
Only if it were a time machine, my friend.
Do we need to sell it? Is this not something we would just give them?
The town could certainly benefit from such an
reward
item.
us
This
for
could-
it, Granny, for the violence and pain that we suffered acquiring it.
Everything
Gran,
has a
I
price.
was nearly chopped in half
Yes.
by a giant's great axe.
I was praying for him.
We're selling.
Like,
This is an
literally.
asset, and we're selling.
We're
Everything
trading.
has a
We're
price.
trading, and we understand that we are not going to get equivalent exchange, but we would like something for our trouble.
Well, we
Well,
all
this
had to see Ryston naked from the waist
priceless
down.
artifact.
Well, he didn't have anything. That was super weird.
But
Exactly.
okay,
It'd
guys.
been less
guys,
weird
guys.
if he'd, you know.
to
Yeah.
start off, the formal negotiating posture of our party
Here he goes.
is, if we can agree on it, because I'm not in charge. I'm just
Go
the
on.
negotiator.
Mr. Bob.
I believe that the most rational place to begin our negotiating from is that we will sell this absolutely. That is not in question. It would be, morally unreasonable to walk away carrying this thing.
It's also very heavy.
Well, yeah, also physically difficult.
Yes,
But
thank you.
that does not mean that we don't understand the value of what we have. And while we're not exactly going to hold out for a king's ransom, it would certainly be in our best interest to take absolutely as good a price as can be afforded.
Or a free
You-
place to stay and some dog sleds.
I got this. I got
Gran,
this.
You
Thank
see
you. If
Captain
we-
Arlagath give you a very hard look as you say that. And then she sort of glances over to where Gran has passed the bag off to Vulcan, arches a brow and looks back. But then she turns to look at Speaker Whalen, who feels her gaze but doesn't meet it as he nods. I think that's only appropriate. What did you have in mind as your asking price?
Let's
Or
check.
something that could certainly do a lot of good for many struggling people here in town, especially the families of those who have just lost their main providers of their means.
Can we let you know in like 11 minutes?
Team meeting?
Yes.
Team meeting.
Team meeting, I think.
Okay. I'm thinking 300 gold plus I get to keep
No.
the pearl.
Check the bag. And yes,
Oh,
of
the
course you get to
bag.
keep the gold. Yeah, check the
Yeah.
bag and see how much it is and what it does. And then maybe we made a fair
Just-
trade.
I don't think that we should. Here's the thing. I understand that this cauldron can change a town completely. And what if we don't necessarily trade? We can have some gold, but I think we need things in order to bring us into other towns, whether it's a dog sled or a place to stay with free food every time we come back to Easthaven, which is one of the main towns in 10 towns.
It makes a
think
lot
we-
of sense.
I don't think gold is what we need. It's a safe place. It's materials for the road.
In this
Yeah.
frozen wilderness, gold will only weigh us down as we freeze.
No. Allow me to paraphrase something that I once heard from a great man.
You already said this. Go ahead.
What do you mean?
You're gonna be like, gold is opportunity and power, and it's everything.
No, actually, I was going to do a different
Another
one.
man.
Pithier. Are we excited for pithier? No.
Maybe. What
If
did
we
he say?
find one dog sled, that's great. If we can get some dog sleds, that's fine. A lot of gold can be as many dog sleds as we need.
This town, what makes you think that these people have a bunch of gold?
I don't know, Gran.
doesn't-
Maybe it's the
doesn't look-
fact that it's a relatively prosperous damned town. I don't think that an eternal enchanted winter is exactly going to have emptied their treasury. What are they spending it on? No.
Oh,
I
okay.
think that this is a wonderful opportunity to,
Gran,
I'm going to be vulgar here, fucking take this shit to get the
No.
money. Get it all.
Wait.
Get the money in my
Gran,
pockets.
you feel a heavy hand on your shoulder sort of pull you to make room in this team meeting as Captain Arlagath steps up to face you, Rayston.
Hello, Captain.
Ma'am.
I don't expect an outsider to understand what we've been through these last few years. Yes, there is some coin left in our town coffers, but you ask what we may be spending it on. You don't think the farmers have bellies that need filling and no way to fill them with their crops wasting away in this endless winter. You don't think the fishermen that are used to bringing in 10 times the weight of their boats every day are struggling to bring in even a quarter of that in a whole week's work. You don't think that all the people of this very large and previously splendid town are struggling to even put food on the plates of their children every night as a result of what has lasted here for the last few years.
What's your point, Captain?
I agree with Royston.
My point is that yes, this town has resources, but they are already stretched very thin, caring for people that have nowhere to go and nothing that they can do to provide for themselves.
Boy,
I
it
mean,
sure would
I
be helpful
completely
to have an
understand you
eternal
wanting-
source of unlimited stew.
I mean, let's say
Yes,
you've
that could
got.
definitely help a lot of people. That's what I'm saying.
You could
It's a
have
good
a-
thing that
yes,
we're
I
willing to sell one
understand-
to you then, isn't it?
Yes, but not to what did you say? Take this town for all it's worth, essentially?
No, I didn't say that. I was much less articulate.
Yes, but that's the thing about getting a point across. It doesn't require the same words from every person.
You know, Captain Arlagath,
Yes,
maybe
yes.
you
Thank
should. You
Captain. We
you-
understand your vested interest in the well-being of the town. We're not here to burn the place down. We just want to be properly compensated for risking our asses trying to make something good happen in this benighted frozen wasteland. I hate to I don't know, badmouth this place, but
Do you?
it used to be better, didn't it?
Rayston,
She
I
turns and looks to you, Osborne. And what did you want to add to this?
I was just going to say that, maybe if you and I got in the hot tub, we could talk about this civilly.
She immediately turns and looks at you, Gran.
I mean, even if you had 500,000 dragons, I mean, what good is that to you up here? Who are you going to spend the gold with?
We will.
The merchants that we've had shipping grain to us from the south to feed our citizens.
From where? From the south, you say?
Anyone south that can spare the crops to send through the scythe.
That's
fine.
And the I'm sorry, what do you call her? The Lady Winter or whatever.
Crossmated.
Yes, she allows that.
What do you mean?
She's hardly a regulatory body, Osborne.
Well,
merchants make it.
If she
here,
took
yes.
away the sun, then she doesn't take away anything else.
Well, what is she going around
She's
ransacking
taken
merchant
plenty.
caravans?
Yeah, but
she only
She's
she
a
only
damned
affects the
natural
weather.
disaster.
Could we have 2 dog sleds, and when we are in town for our business, a free place to stay and free food while we are here?
Thank you, Gran, but you don't speak for the party in this negotiation.
I don't
Do
believe
you?
that you do at this time either, Ryston,
Oh snap!
because you have offended
boy.
our guest.
Snap.
Gran, may I have one moment to finish my talk with Captain Arlagath?
It's getting hot in
Go.
here.
I have a final point I wish to make. To sum
I'm
up,
listening.
Captain, we have no interest in making life any harder for the people of this area. For all that I do not find the current state of the area particularly pleasant, I have hardly said a negative word about the people of this area. 10 Towns is, in fact, in my personal estimation, about as much my responsibility as it is yours, given that I've come up here and decided to try and make something of myself in the area. Damn it, Captain, I am not trying to fleece Easthaven. All right? What I am trying to do is come to an arrangement that will benefit us in at least a fraction of the amount that it will benefit you. This wonderful object that has the potential to save dozens of lives, even if we manage to restore summer to this place next week, which is, by the way, what we're here for. I think we've already said. This thing would still be in a cave. This thing would be under the ownership of a nasty hag that used it to eat people. We are
Wilhelm is
a
almost the
beneficial
price.
damned force, and I would thank you to not treat us like some kind of calamity. Just because I want to make a little bit of a profit for myself out of what could be great for everyone. I am
Braxton, give me a
being utterly
deception check.
sincere, Captain. What?
Give me a deception check.
But I'm not lying.
But I'm not lying.
Yeah.
Well, that is, and not to put too fine a point on it, a 26.
Okay. You just beat her. Okay. I understand that very clearly. And she again looks pointedly at the mysterious magical item she's already gifted you. But you did say, get all that you can for it. Take them essentially for all they're worth. I will step aside, and you do see that she sort of opens her shoulder to where Waylon is standing with his arms crossed, and he's just sort of smugly watching this exchange. But I hope that you sleep well, knowing that you are trying to maximize what profit you feel is due to you for the services that you have rendered. And she steps back and gives sort of a sweeping motion for Waylon to step forward. Well, this is first let me reiterate that we are quite grateful for the services rendered, and I do think that it is indeed appropriate that some sort of recompense be paid for said services. That is not an argument here. We are more than happy to thank you for what you did. I think the issue here is more along the lines of strictly this magical item, not whether or not you have done us a service or whether or not you have the interests of Easthaven at heart, but simply the fact of the matter that our resources are limited and this could greatly help very many people.
Yeah,
so
I just want to point out that this magical item, as you put it, could feed everyone in this entire town forever.
Well, we don't.
No, don't mistake me. I certainly understand that it is worth. It is definitely very valuable.
Yeah.
But it's not the answer to every problem that our town has.
Hardly, and we're frankly not asking for infinity stew worth of recompense either.
So what is it exactly that you're asking for?
What other problems do you have?
What do you mean, what other problems do you have? Osborne, I swear to God, this place is
What?
haunted by ghosts.
What?
Where have you been?
What? Why is everyone looking at me like that?
A druid leading a pack of talking wolves tried to eviscerate us a week ago.
Give Osborne a little noogie. Oh, Osborne.
But that was not here. That was, somewhere else.
Under the command of Ariel the Frost Maiden, who is keeping this place an eternal hellscape of ice.
And her servants.
And her servants and the ritual sacrificing. Or is this
and
a
limited resources
clicking
and
for
also
you?
the word.
Clicking?
I don't.
Yes, Rayston, what is it that you would like from this?
Money. We had already
But
established
the
that.
amount of money that we would
The
then
amount
spend
of
here,
money,
yes.
I think, is up to the speaker with some input from us based on whether or not it's reasonable.
My question is...
I don't know what this town's budget is. I don't know how much money you have. I don't know what your personal fortune is or whether you're willing to use it here.
Does money even do us any good up here?
Yeah, no, personal fortune as in personal budget then. The point is that we have a nice thing and you have an amount of money that I don't know. So, I don't know. Let's find an equilibrium here.
I mean, if you can't even feed people, what good is gold?
Captain Arlagath. Equilibrium.
What was that, Osborne?
If you can't even feed people, then what good is gold?
Well, that's a damned good point,
Osborne. Is gold even...
Gold is what we've been using to feed people.
Yeah, they've
been
buying grain.
No one's being mean. I am under siege.
Okay, so you buy things from... So you buy whatever from the south.
Food.
I mean, that's just one use of our coffers, but yes.
And I'm directing this towards the party. Thank you, Mr. Wayland. But does
Let's
gold
not be
help
rude,
us
Osborne.
up here?
Agreed.
We would
I
spend
think
it.
grands is much more reasonable.
We do have other
Don't
needs
help
than
us
just a
up
dog
here.
sled.
We go to
have
some of these
rations
other
and arrows and
godforsaken, no
equipment.
offense, godforsaken towns.
Very rude to say.
No offense, Mr.
This
Director
guy's
of the
really
party.
going through the ringer.
Earmuffs, Mr. Wayland.
He's
Well,
there,
it doesn't matter how much gold we have.
This
in one of these other
nasty man
towns.
does not speak for us in any way.
Like if we even had 1 million dragons in our pocket when we went to one of these other towns, would that even do us any good?
Yes.
He makes a fair point.
I think the point for money is that we'd be able to buy the equipment from the townspeople that we need, whether
Yeah.
that is dog sleds, warm clothes, rations, arrows, repair equipment for sharpening tools.
We might run into a damn dragon out
stimulating
there
the
that wants
economy.
10,000 gold or else it kills us. I don't
Then
know
they have
what is
to-
going to happen.
That's good.
Money is a resource. It's a very versatile resource.
I don't think that anyone is arguing that, Rayston. I think the point is
Okay.
that this is a town that has been hit very, very hard in recent years. And if we don't need to be greedy, then we shouldn't be.
I don't know why everyone thinks that profit is automatically greed around here.
Where are we going?
I feel like I
with
have
this?
been absolutely slandered by everyone in
Yes.
this room for like an hour.
No.
Well, your
You
side,
came
I agree
across
with you.
very
I am going to
negatively.
suck this town dry and wander away cackling.
It's only been
I think
17
it's really
minutes.
just me and Captain Orlegaff. I don't think it's anyone else.
Yeah.
Can we just let the guy, hit us with an amount? Can we
I
hear
think
his
that's
offer
all.
Please,
Yes.
Gran, please, Osborne.
Can we let the man give us an offer?
All right.
Mr. Speaker?
Well, yes, I had a feeling this might be a conversation that we ended up having. And to your point, madam, and he gestures to you, Gran, lodging, a warm place to sleep in a town, regardless of how nice or, he looks at Osborne, shitty it may be, is
I never
certainly
said that.
valuable as well. So, a reminder, gold can also buy that resource. I am prepared to offer you 300 gold pieces in addition to remaining possession of the pearl that you have used to identify the subject for us.
Well, that's a total of 400 gold in value. That's certainly a generous offer.
Are you in contact with the other wonderful towns around here?
Not regularly, only
Like-
when there's
Like this is 10
problem.
towns, right? So this is one of 10 towns.
Correct,
Is
yes.
that right? I haven't been here very long, but that's the way I.
But you know by traveling with us that it's very difficult to get from town to town.
It's what I'm saying. So,
Yes.
but you are in some sort of contact with them, yes?
Contact, yes, but it's not exactly a larger governing body that presides over all of 10 towns. If
Well,
that's what you're
I
getting
understand that, but if you are known to the other 9 towns, perhaps you could give us some sort of I don't know, letter or something, so that we don't have this whole getting to know you phase every time I go to a new place,
Mhm.
I can something to grease the wheels when we get there.
We've been around
We've
what
been
is
to
it,
a
4
couple
of
of
the 10 towns already.
4 of them. All right,
Mhm.
so we got 6 to go, and everywhere we go,
I'm-
people look at us like we're gonna stab everybody. So I just, maybe
Well,
Well,
some
that-
kind of
that actually
carry
I
yourself
think
with
is
quite a few weapons.
so maybe some sort of I don't know, a letter,
Letter
or
of introduction.
something,
A letter
Or
of
a-
introduction, you're asking.
something.
I don't know exactly how far my word would carry in another town, but
That's true.
What
He was
about,
an elected official,
What about Captain?
He wasn't
Oliver?
even
give me
born
a persuasion check at advantage, Osborne, as Wilhelm is helping.
All right. Oh boy. Oh.
Yeah, you're a sorcerer.
Yeah.
26.
Very nice.
That was a natural 20.
Nice.
Very nice. Again, I don't know how exactly how much good it will do you in the other towns. I myself am only a recently appointed town speaker, but I could draft up a writ saying that you had previously done services for Easthaven and that if requested, an audience with the speaker of whatever township you found yourself in should be granted based on the merit gained from your services granted here. Or something.
Maybe it could say
And he
something
looks to
like
Captain
we're-
Arlagaff like, right? And she just rolls her eyes.
maybe instead of providing services, maybe it could say something like, we're totally cool or something like that. Like not just like we're. We don't wanna
character
seem like, we're not
references. Yeah.
mercenaries.
Yes.
Or are we mercenaries?
Take
Is that
We're a
what we are?
salvage
I
We're a
company.
think mercenaries
salvage
and
group, I
adventurers
think.
and salvage.
We landed on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a weird
I,
hybrid.
I would be happy to provide that for you as well.
Yes, that's all we need. Yeah.
So, well, that's great. Wonderful. I don't want. Well, this is. I don't know if this is in poor taste, but we did pass up the hag's offer for a pretty substantial ultimate treasure in the course of killing her and bringing
Oh,
back
yeah,
the
I
cauldron.
forgot about that.
There's a bit of
treasure?
opportunity cost that I feel like could be covered.
Yeah, I
You're
forgot
right.
about
This
that part.
is in poor
It,
taste.
it is in
You're
poor
right.
taste. It is
The
in poor taste.
worst tasting.
Is it?
Yes.
Yep.
It's something
Oh.
that we can't even use because they know we killed her and can't retain. It's
You know, it's
Poor
not in
taste.
poor taste.
This is a negotiation. I swear,
The
none of you
stew
people
that
have
thing can
ever
make.
haggled.
We can find that on
No.
our own really easily.
Basic
I don't-
haggling. This is.
I don't
basic
understand
haggling.
why you gotta bring.
I don't-
You're the ones who turned this into a humanitarian issue.
You turned it into a mandatory issue. We
As
tried to
somebody-
screw these people over.
Don't
No.
Yes.
anyone.
Well, that's not exactly what happened.
None of this is what happened. You're gonna watch this back and you're gonna say, "Damn, Rayston did nothing wrong."
No, Rayston is the worst.
No, just an
Gran
asshole.
is stabbing me in the back. Osborne is lowering the value from the side. Arlagath is getting on her high horse from the front.
Yeah.
I think it is important to know that I don't think you are doing anything wrong, but as someone who has been in 10 towns for a long time and understands the importance of trade and bartering versus just the money exchange process, that is all I'm trying to get across, Rayston. That is all.
Trade and bartering.
We're
where's
doing-
I
the-
mean,
Money is
Quibbling.
very useful for bartering.
I mean,
I'm
we
not
can't-
saying it's not.
You don't. How
we
that's
can't
not-
very well drag this thing behind us everywhere we go.
I'm sure he
Captain
gave us the
Arlagath
best offer first.
steps up
Right.
again. The
There's
captain steps up again
negotiating.
behind Speaker Wayland and puts a hand on his shoulder. Speaker, you do have other appointments to get to. Perhaps we should conclude this business.
Other
And she
appointment.
sort of cuts her eyes to you, Rayston, after your suggestion of asking for even more opportunity cost.
Captain, would you have me believe that this man, in the course of bartering and negotiating, gave me his absolute best offer first, apropos of nothing?
He offered more than I suggested he start with when I met him in the hall before I joined you, yes.
And how much business experience do you have, Captain? This
More
is
than
a
he does.
negotiation.
Oh, I like her.
More than I do?
More than Daneth, at least.
Well, I'm talking
And
to Dan.
you see like some color flush in Wayland's cheeks as he stands a little bit straighter and puffs his chest.
So is
I,
300
nevertheless-
your final offer or not? You're right. This has
300
gone on
And
too
a gold
long.
piece worth 100 gold, or a pearl worth 100 gold pieces, yes.
Without that pro, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. I consider it a half issue.
Right, which makes it all the more useful to your party to be able to use that in the future for such endeavors.
Yes.
What
Thank
was
you.
it?
What
Opportunity
a great point you're
cost?
making. Final offer
Yes.
or not, Speaker?
I say we
It's
take
all I
it.
can afford to offer you.
I say
There
we
we
take
go.
it.
Is the 300 in gold or is it in gems or pearls?
Oh, yeah, it sounded like chickens or
Sack
You
Yeah.
something,
said
is it?
gold and one
said
pearl.
gold.
So
Yeah.
sounds
Well,
like
I'm just
gold.
saying, is the gold in gold or is the gold in gems? Is all I'm asking.
It was going to be in coin, but if
No.
If
Gold,
that
gold,
needs
is,
to be
gold is
adjusted.
fine. Gold is fine. Gold is
Yeah,
fine.
it's
I was
not
just-
300
curious.
gold pieces worth of chickens or something like that, right?
That's a lot of chicken.
That's
if we had 300 gold pieces worth of chickens, I think we would have less need of this cauldron.
Well, okay.
duh.
I say we take it.
Livestock does not fare well up here anymore.
It's 400
Here.
between the gold
And
and
you
pearl,
see
it's
him
400.
reach down to his belt and pull a very plain looking black sheath that has a very beautifully crafted hilt of a dagger. It's got glistening white metal that sort of spirals up around the black leather hilt and comes to a equally shining silver pommel. You were speaking of personal fortunes. I have never been a rich man, but this has been a point of pride for my family for a couple of generations now. And he puts it on the table in front of you, Rayston, and sort of slides it across. I can throw this in as well, but that is all I can offer you.
Speaker, I
And
fear
with
I've
your
given
passive
you a negative-
insight, you see that it really burdens him to do that.
Speaker, I fear I've given you a negative impression of me. I'm in the business of business, not heirloom stealing and auctioneering. If 300 and a pearl is what you think you can offer us, then 300 and a pearl is what we'll take.
All right. It's a deal. And he extends his hand to you.
I shake hands. I
It's
look at
very
the party
callous.
to make sure that I'm shaking hands in like group approved.
Yeah.
But
Gran stares daggers at you, but she does shake her head very
I approved this 30 minutes ago.
if
mildly.
Gran wants to stare daggers, she can take one from
Ooh.
this poor, desperate man.
Where's
Don't split the party.
He regathers his dagger and refastens it on his belt. Tell you what, Arlagath mentioned earlier that you had spent the night at the White Lady Inn. You clearly have had quite a morning, he says, gesturing to those of you that still have splotches of dried blood on your clothes. I will put in a good word. I think we can probably comp a night of your stay there. I will have one of my men, if not the captain, deliver the gold to you this evening at the inn, if that is acceptable.
Well,
yeah?
Acceptable
I
for me.
don't think it would be anything but rude to say no.
Very well, it's settled. It'll be a mix of gold and silver, he says, looking to you, Vulcan. Is that all right?
I just want to know if it was gems or any other. If it's straight coin, that's all good.
Perfect. All right. Great. Well, then, Captain. And she sort of gives a huff and situates her belt with her weapon so that it's sort of turned out of her way, walks over, bends at the knee, and tapes this massive 4-foot diameter cauldron around either side and just deadlifts it and begins making her way towards the door that she had emerged from.
Oh, I like
Without
her.
a word, she leaves the room, taking the cauldron with her. And Daneth just sort of watches her go. And once she's out, she is a lot. She's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
You,
wonder if she
you handled her
appreciates-
pretty well, I've got to say. She's an intimidating woman.
I was very scared actually for that
Oh.
entire time.
I wonder if she appreciates the hot tub qualities of that.
It's not a hot
That
tub.
cauldron.
Your water
It's
just
only
turns
cooking.
Osborne, I think if you make
I
another
forgot
hot
to
tub
say,
comment, you'll
actually.
graduate from flirting to sexual harassment.
If you put a person in there, they die and become part of the stew immediately. So don't use it as a hot tub. I
Do
forgot to-
they?
Wow.
Well, that
what
would
a
have been nice to
crazy
know
property that it has.
before I,
Wow.
He winks at the
brought up hot
Damn,
tubbing.
we should have brought that up earlier. Speaker, it's very important.
That
you don't
should have
let
been the
anyone
first
climb
thing
in
you
that
said,
pot.
honestly.
I didn't think
Yes.
I
anyone
should
would use it as a
probably
hot tub,
let-
but I forgot
I should go
Yes,
let them
and
know.
we will
No,
get out of your hair.
Absolutely. Go and tell her that
Yes.
before anyone gets any ideas.
He briskly walks out of the room in Captain Arlagath's wake, and you are left in this
Yes.
empty stone chamber in the town hall.
Nah, I was lying. Guys.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah.
Let's go
we
rest.
gathered that. It's a cooking pot. Of course they're going to die.
Gran, are we good? Are we cool? You're not
Listen.
mad, are you?
Swim in that.
Well, I can tell you this. I believe my armor will deflect any daggers that you throw.
When I referenced daggers, I was talking about
Oh,
how
that
the
was a
guy
threat.
tried to give us
We
like a dagger family heirloom
That was a
thing,
threat.
and I was
Mhm.
saying like
It's totally a threat.
that was if you want daggers, he's offering one, like
Mm.
to try and deflect some of the moral
Well-
awkwardness of that moment onto you.
I say let's go take a short rest at the inn
Mhm.
and get out of their hair. And we
Alright.
can
I'm not stabbing,
Call
and
this over,
I'm not.
yeah.
I'm not going to hurt.
Good
Gran.
idea. And
He's
let's
a wonderful person that I
So
frankly.
as you
admire
all
a lot.
begin making your way, having this discussion out of the town hall, you'll easily enough reach the inn. to take your short rest, and I think we should take a short break as well.
Good idea.
If you will join us in about 5 to 10 minutes, we're going to take a quick little bio break, hang out and chat, have some discussions. Tell us what you would have demanded from the party to
The chat
secure
thinks
the
puppies
Cauldron.
so far.
Yeah, the chat has only
Lots of
decided on
puppies, I
puppies.
see.
And I'm like, you realize
Hang out
all
with
of
us,
them would have-
guys. We will be right back, okay? Thank
Oh,
you.
one thing before we go on a break. Griffin, does it really say that you turn into the stew if you get in the pot, or you just
No,
make
he
that
lied.
up?
The world may never know. The world may never know.
He
Not
lied.
as a player, not a character. Okay, I was just curious.
We just really wanted to keep that goblin out of that pot. Yeah.
Yeah, we're back. Oh shit! What happened?
Wait.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
we're back. Oh wait.
Arnar,
Oh, whoa, whoa,
what
whoa,
did
whoa, whoa.
happen?
Okay, we are all shifted up.
Who did we
now.
lose?
And it's the entropy thing.
No, we didn't lose anyone. Just
I'm just on the wrong one. Okay.
yeah, it's the entropy one. Yeah.
Da, 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 da.
Dun, dun,
Wait.
dun. There we go.
Oh.
I
No.
clicked on the
Oh,
wrong
yeah.
one. Sorry.
Hold on.
There we go.
Wow.
There's Frigiphobia.
Oh, that looks good. Excellent. All right. Well, hi. Welcome back, everybody,
There we
to
go.
Frigiphobia. The party has returned to the White Lady Inn, where you still see the dashing halfling bard Ronaldo entertaining a crowd at the bar. You are able to take a well-earned break. It is still only about the equivalent of 2 to 3 in the afternoon.
My goodness.
And you had made plans to meet up with Captain Arlagath to go investigate the ferry
Maybe hot
for some
tub.
potential Durgar squatters.
Maybe hot tub.
No hot tubs,
You
Osborne.
can't do the hot
Besides,
tub.
you're the only one that could fit into it.
Yeah.
You will drown and you will die. And you'll become
You'll
part
get
of
boiled alive and turned into stew. Do not do
Let's do.
that.
And
We
then
can
I'll,
set
then
up
I'll have
another
to
safe
eat
word
you.
for when it's
There's
okay to
you.
go hot tub.
And you'll taste so good.
You better believe I would.
Yeah.
So I assume Vulcan uses his newly acquired pearl to identify the bag that was given
Yes, I did.
during this break. Okay.
And I would like to give this bag to Gran.
What's it
Here
do?
you go.
What is this, young Vulcan?
Go ahead and grab something. Go ahead and go reach in and pull something out.
I do.
Gran, roll a d8 for me.
Oh my god, it is. It is so bad.
It was a 5.
Yeah, yes.
Oh shit. So in the interior of the White Lady Inn, you reach in and you feel these strange little soft, fluffy, tiny little objects, almost like really fluffy beans. And you pull one out and it just sort of tingles in your fingers, and reflexively you just sort of flick it. And as this little black mote of furry who knows what sails through the air, there is a wow, 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 as it turns into a panther that lands heavily on one of the tables. Its golden eyes wide, slitted pupils blown into black voids as it turns its predatory head. Immediately, you're surrounded by the cries of the patrons gathered here.
Air is
Ronaldo
dry.
disappears behind the bar, and the girls that had gathered around him just scatter, and you see sort of rolling its shoulders as it slinks in a circle to face you, an enormous black panther.
It's friendly. It's good.
I would like to use my staff of the Winterlands to cast Speak with Animals.
Okay.
Yeah, so I kind of just look over at this panther.
Would you want a small pat on the head? What do you need? A scratch on the chin?
It sort of tilts its head, its long, thick tail twitching behind it. What would you have me do? You summoned me.
Why don't you curl up in a fuzzy corner, take a nap? If we need you, we'll call for you. If you need to run around, please run around. Be free. But maybe don't chomp anything.
Its ears that had been sort of pinned in, adrenaline as it was summoned into the space just sort of perk forwards as it does the head tilt even more dramatically. If you insist. And it slinks off the table in impossibly graceful movements and pads over with heavy footfalls to slump down in a languid pose in front of one of the 2 fireplaces. All of the patrons are cowering, and those that were near its path just sort of flatten against the wall or behind their tables as it passes and are just staring from it to you, to you.
Get out of
And you
business.
hear
Go
from
back to
behind
your
the
drinks.
bar.
You might want to. Can you unsummon that, Grant?
To be honest, I don't think so.
Bran, put the cat back in the bag.
I just don't
Cat's
think
out of
I
the
can.
bag.
It'll be fine. It'll be
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
fine.
Bran, put the cat back in the
It'll
bag.
be
No, I
fine.
just said the cat's
Don't
out of the bag, and then I
I
did.
don't think the cat is harming anybody, so I
No,
think
it's-
we'll be okay.
It's
Bran,
guys,
if
Yeah, I
any of these
agree.
people have weak hearts, you're about to kill them.
It'll be all
if
right.
I may,
Individuals slowly start sort of as they move against the walls, just ducking out of the tavern as they make it to the door.
if I may, it is friendly. It will leave tomorrow morning, and it will fight for us if we so choose.
Vulcan, if they
honestly-
fine us for this, I'm making you pay for it.
And honestly,
Yes.
I thought she was gonna pull like a weasel. I thought she was gonna pull a weasel. She pulled a
Insight check that.
Give me an insight check. Vulcan, give me persuasion or deception, if you, depending on what is true, if you were secretly hoping for a panther or not.
Well, I rolled a 6.
I got a 15.
Were you secretly hoping for a panther?
Yeah.
You seem pretty excited.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah. I just
I
put my hand on
wasn't-
his shoulder.
Chat one of puppies. We
Secrets
got
can
a
be
K.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Don't
Well,
withhold.
I yell over to Nymira, the bartender.
She was at the other bar. This is the
Oh, right.
white lady. She was at
Oh
the
yeah,
Hmm.
never mind. Wrong.
wet
That's not the
trout.
one who liked me. Never mind then. I just go over and I sit between the two fireplaces and chill with my panther.
Hmm.
We got nothing going on, so
Let's
Yeah.
see.
Oh yeah. During the short rest, I like to, pray for the lost souls in the Cauldron Caves, and since I haven't really had a chance to do that before.
Oh, and I would like to take the short rest as I, in between sips of beer, I'm like, hey, Tempest, Zadrin's really cool. So, like, if you ever have a holy ground, could you just let him in? Because, like, he could really have helped out there. Like, I probably would have taken way less hits if he'd been there, like, pow, 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 pow. But instead, he was like, oh, I couldn't come in. So, if you were there, I'd really appreciate that. Thank you.
And my chopped liver, Wilhelm.
You helped, my friend, but it still hurt so bad.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You swear as you finish your prayer and glance over at Zadrin, there's just the momentary golden glow like a backlit warrior in your mind's eye, and you sort of look again and it's just Zadrin. The tavern patron of the White Lady Inn, who you haven't really interacted extensively with, is an older but very strong, burly human man, and he slowly approaches your table, and you can see he's got a short sword drawn
Oh,
that looks pretty aged. It's got a little bit of rust around the hilt, but he's brandishing it nonetheless, and he looks at all of you. Is that thing gonna fuck up my bar?
no.
No, sir.
If it does, you're responsible for the damages.
He will pay.
Understood. But it
Him.
won't.
It's on him.
Sort of
Because it's
levels
did
the
it.
point
It's on
at you,
Graham.
Gran, since you were the one that threw the thing.
Nah, look at it's Captain
Clean up
Flaming
after it
Head.
if it pisses.
Fire pants over there.
You have my word, sir.
Now, I just lost a decent bit of business too, so I expect you to order some more drinks.
Yeah,
Promptly.
Vulcan,
All right.
you should order us some more drinks.
Wait, am I
I-
Captain Firepants?
No,
No, you're Captain Acid Pants.
Captain Little
Uh.
Pants.
Oh,
Little Pants. Yeah. Much better.
all right.
He goes back behind the bar and begins preparing the drinks that you've yet to order, but he apparently is going to sell you nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, some time passes. It's about 2 or 3 hours before you see appearing in the doorway. And at this point, more patrons have come in, obviously taken aback by the sight of a panther, but it is catnapping away in front of the fire. And they sort of glance over to your very obvious adventuring party with your various weapons, shields, armor. They keep a distance from you and the cat, but patrons do begin to pour back in around the usual time.
I want
Is
you
there
to know,
anything
Vulcan,
else?
real quick, just before we move on. I have a running list of party members that I have to keep an eye on lest they burn someone's house down. And you have just beaten Osborne for top of the list. So
Who are you talking to like that?
I'm talking to you, Vulcan.
Me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
I
Talking to
have
you,
a very
Mr. Look in the bag,
controlled-
Mr.
I have a
Grab in
very
the bag and
controlled
see,
blaze.
Mr. Why don't you give it a shot?
I thought she was
Mr. I
gonna-
know what this thing does and nobody else.
a
So I think
badger
it'll be
or a
funny to see a
weasel.
demonstration.
You're doing
A
good.
I'm just there
panther.
shaking my head at you when you say that.
From now on, if there's a 1/8 chance of everyone in the vicinity being terrified near to death, I want you to let us know before you roll that dice.
Honestly,
Is that
I'm just
fine?
I'm
Is
just
that fine
happy.
with everyone?
I'm just happy it wasn't an elk. Could have been an elk. That would have been
An
real.
elk?
Could have been an
Elks
elk.
are 3 times as big as panthers.
I know that would have been so bad.
It would have
To be
destroyed
fair-
the
It
barn.
would have destroyed the bar. Yeah. So honestly, Panther
be
doesn't look that bad anymore, does it?
This is not winning. This is not a winning point. This is no better. This is much worse.
You did ask me, and I said it would be just fine. So I guess I will take some blame here as well. But we'll be more
Bran,
careful.
Bran,
And I
you
look
are
over at
bla-
Vulcan and I
You are
look.
a saintess compared to him.
Ryson.
Trying to have a little fun, you know.
If
Right,
I do not have a heart problem by the end of this adventure, it will be a direct divine point of intervention. The
Ryson.
Raven Queen will have placed her finger in my breast and fixed it through magic. That is the only way. I
Ryson.
can feel it murmuring right now.
I am still the most likely to burn down this whole building.
God damn it, you're
Oh,
right.
no.
I was mad at Vulcan, but you are absolutely correct.
This is not a challenge.
I'm just saying your focus is misdirected.
Yep. Nope. I'll be sure to keep a special eye on you. I'm
For the
sorry
sake
to
of this poor man's bar, this is about the time that appearing in the doorway, you see, not in the same full plate that she wore at the town hall earlier. Instead, she's wearing a breastplate and some reinforced leather greaves and pauldrons.
Oh,
Captain Arlagath, her sort of dark, wavy auburn hair is now sort of slicked back in a very tight bun, revealing the slight point of her half elven ears and the very proud structure of her face. Her brows furrowed as she spots your group, and then her eyes pan without her head turning to the panther by the fire.
Of whom I'm petting.
Hello. You
Panther
still
came out of the bag. Did you know that was gonna happen?
wait, what?
A panther came out of the bag. Did you know that? Did you know it? That's what it did?
Shh. I have no idea what bag you're talking about.
Oh. The bag you gave us earlier.
No,
There was a panther. in
I
it.
just hand over mouth, like, we've given her enough trouble today.
Wilhelm.
are we still needing to investigate the ferry today?
Wilhelm.
We need to investigate the ferry, Osborne, and then you can say your thing.
Wilhelm,
now.
can you stoop down a little?
Oh, right. And he stoops for it.
Yeah.
I
hello,
think
Captain
Royston has
Arlagath.
discovered Zen Buddhism
Put
in
your
the
shoulders back.
5
Put your
minutes
shoulders
that
back.
have just
Stand straight.
passed.
You look good. Yeah, you look good.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, man. So tall.
His mind is fled. His body is at peace.
She turns her gaze to, excuse me, to you, Zadrin. Are you ready? You seem pretty well composed for the way this group typically operates.
Yes, I'm ready. My party, though, with a tough fight, seem to be capable of themselves. Hopefully.
Fantastic. I don't expect a tough fight. Let's go.
Mm.
And she turns right back around in the door and heads out into the street.
All right.
All right.
I will promptly get up and follow. With a back glance, quickly, should everyone go? Or
Yes.
okay.
would.
Oh no, I'm
Everyone.
coming.
All
My
right.
panther's coming too.
Not want some of us to go.
No, we're all welcome. Just wanted to make sure, since like Rayston went down in the last fight.
He had
Nice.
a short rest. He's fine.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, keep an eye on him then. Yeah.
I have never felt better.
See?
And then
Hey.
falling tight behind.
All right. So you know the way. It's even easier following Captain Arlagath through the winding streets of Easthaven. Let me give her a token. And I
Well,
guess we also need this.
Well, what are we doing?
We are going to go take care of those Durgar that are holed up in the ferry.
All right, I forgot about that. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes. Everyone was really making fun of you when you asked what we were doing next. Just want you to know, my friend.
Well, I can't be bothered to remember every little thing.
That's all right. I will remember for you, my friend. And hunt for you. Stand straight. Stand straight.
Well, if we're fighting, you can stand up straight.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Oh,
Yeah.
good. This would be easier to swing my sword.
Okay. Unless Arlagath can see you, then please.
Okay. Oh,
Yes,
she's
thank
looking.
you.
She's looking.
Thank you.
Okay, no, she turned back away.
So as you all make your way to the docks, you near the ferry, you can see that Scython, the tiefling ferry master, is posted up, leaning back against a nearby building. And as you all approach, he gives a knowing nod to Captain Arlagath, who returns the gesture, and he sweeps his hand towards his boat in invitation. So you should all see your map here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a super large boat. These are 5-foot squares. So you can go ahead and position yourselves as you begin to make your way across the gangplank. The boat is frozen in the ice.
will
Oh,
help.
let me put this on the right layer. There we go. So as you board, there is virtually no tilt or rocking as the weight shifts. All right. You can see that the deck is kind of slick, not so much to be difficult terrain, but from where the general snowfall has melted and then solidified and refrozen. It's a cold boat. You do see the cargo hatch that Gran had previously pointed out, where you can see down, or she previously saw down into the tops of some crates and barrels and saw what appeared to be some tarlatan fragments.
Can I, as we're approaching the boat, keep an eye out for any tracks or signs of invisible creatures because of our previous experience with Durgar? They
Give me a survival check.
did that. Let's use this dice. Just 13.
13 is enough. You do see in the freshly fallen light layer of snow, there are several sets of what appear to be small humanoid boot prints going to and from the ferry.
Okay. I'll point that out to the captain and the ferry owner. Like, they've been here. There seems to be their tracks coming and going. Have you been aware of people leaving? To the ferry captain.
No. Scython, get your sorry ass over here. And the tiefling sort of abruptly stands up, clearly taken by surprise, and briskly walks over. Oh, I don't remember what his voice was. What seems to be the problem here? And she gestures to the tracks that you've pointed out.
Mhm.
I thought you were going to be keeping an eye out for any trouble. Have you had any visitors? And his brow sort of furrows as he steps over and looks at the boot prints as well. I'm sure I have no idea where those came from. I've been watching the boat since you came and found me this morning, like you asked, and I have not seen anyone.
To be fair, Durgar can be
Yes.
invisible, as we have learned, to our detriment.
Mm-hmm. At will.
So they just walk around invisible, all willy-nilly.
Scython gives a very worried look to Captain Arlagath, who just... So maybe you did have some merit to what you were saying. Scython, go wait at the trout. I'll find you when we're done. And the tiefling nods and excuses himself to make his way to the bar that you previously met him in. All right. Let's get this over with, shall we?
How do
She
we want
will
to do this?
take up the rear. So you make your way onto the deck of the ship. There are hatch doors on either side here that seem to lead to a cabin on main deck level. There is also a descending staircase that goes down into the hold level of the ship.
Okay.
And
Grand.
stairs elevating to the quarterdeck. These black circles represent where the mast runs through.
Gran, you were the one who scouted here before. Where do you think we should go?
Well, I didn't actually get to go inside because I was only a rat and opening doors fared harder than I had imagined. So I don't know. I did hear people at the doors when I was here, and then below deck seems to be supplies. Oh, you know those weird blue shards that really fancy tiefling had at the other town? There was a big barrel of those underneath the
And I point to that graded area on the boat.
underneath here. That's all I know though.
Let's listen
Right.
at the door. Probably.
Okay. So Zadrin, you move over to one of the doors.
Mm-hmm.
Arlagath will make her way onto the deck as well. Give me a perception check.
Natural 20 for 25.
Okay. You listen. You don't hear anything.
I will back away and let them know it's like I didn't hear anything. But that doesn't mean that they're just standing still as we not so stealthily approached.
Arlagath steps over and brandishes a key. Well, he insisted he had nothing to hide, so she hands it out to you, Wilhelm. After you.
All right.
I get a bone arrow ready for any sign of
And he
invisible
opens-
creatures.
She draws a long sword from her hip.
He opens the door.
Okay. You see what appears to be a run-of-the-mill captain's quarters. There is a desk that is currently bare, nothing upon it. A thin layer of dust covers most surfaces in here, including the chair behind the desk. There are occasional cobwebs stretching in different corners. Doesn't look like this room has been occupied for a while on cursory examination.
I'd like to scoop up a handful of snow, and as I move in, throw it out in front of me.
Okay, you gather some snow freshly fallen from the deck and sling it in an arc. It doesn't impact anything that is not visible to the naked eye.
Mhm. Well, then I move forward and examine the room.
Okay,
I would like to assist them as like looking for tracks in the dust.
survival check.
Do you want to do that with advantage, or just me?
Yeah,
As you...
Wilhelm, yours would be more of a perception check.
Okay, thank you.
18.
Okay.
And a 9 for me. 9.
9. Wilhelm, you don't see anything that catches your eye. Again, it looks like this room has been vacant. What would normally occupy captain's desk has been packed away with the vessel not in use. Zadrin, you as well don't spy anything out of the norm, but when you begin looking for tracks, out on the exposed portion of the deck of the ship, where the snow is very quick to refreeze, being in this thin ice sheet, the tracks sort of disappeared from the gangplank, but you do notice that thin sheet of ice is cracked on the stairs that lead down to the lower level.
There seems to be tracks or signs of activity going down. Let's head there next. I like your snow trick. That's very smart. Well,
Yeah. Ryston, I think, is going to take the precaution of covering the exit, so to speak. I'm going to hang out on the pathway down and just
Okay.
sort of take up as much space as possible.
Wilhelm, Zadrin.
Hmm?
I just want to say that we could just set this thing on fire and stand in the dark and see what happens.
I doubt the owner of the ferry would like that very much.
Yes.
Would you like
I
to go
agree.
down?
Do we care what he likes?
Yes.
All right. then.
Yes, says Captain Arlagath, sort of staring down at you since she is standing right there.
And then, like, Wilhelm
Do you remember what I said when we met, Goblin?
No.
I'll have to try harder to make an impression.
and Wilhelm, like,
You've
over
made
her
an
shoulder
impression.
is like, you're bombing.
You've
Oh,
made-
stop it.
No, you've
Stop it."
certainly made an impression. I just don't remember every little thing.
Disaster. Romantic disaster.
Oh.
There will be no burning of Scython's boat. Now, after you, I'll make sure nothing escapes should you all get slaughtered.
No, well, thank you.
Thanks for the confidence.
There will be no burning of Southhound's boat, says the woman who's not going first. All right.
Ryston
So-
can take point down the stairs.
Okay.
If that's
Okay.
I don't. If you guys want to stealth down the stairs, you don't want me to join you.
Mm.
Is what I'm saying.
I feel
I
like
think we're past
probably
stealth.
a
Yeah.
moot point by now.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Do you remember
look at our
that
road
if you need to move through an ally's space at any time, it takes double movement? Again, these are 5-foot squares, so try and keep your token movement accurate for me
Okay.
if you can.
Where is the down stairway?
I'm assuming it's the other half of the map.
Yep, Zadrin is at the top. It descends to this point here. And then it has 2 hallways that wrap around the bottom of the staircase to push forward into the bow cargo hold.
I'll stay up here and keep watch at the doorway. If I make any sudden loud noises, you'll know.
Alden, you take the hall on the left. I'll take the hall on the right.
All right.
And again,
Osborne, Zadrin,
yeah.
where are y'all?
I would like to carefully go down and peer around for any signs of movement as they go left and right, mainly back here. I'll have my short
Okay.
sword drawn while in these tight quarters.
All right, give me a perception check. Wilhelm and Rayson, go ahead and freeze right there for me while I resolve this. Vulcan, what are you doing?
I will stand here at the tippy top of the stairs.
Okay. What'd you get, Zadrin?
21.
21. You don't see anything unusual. You do see where the ice layer stops about halfway down the stairs, as at this point it becomes no longer as exposed to the elements. So you lose your indication of what might have been tracks or evidence of passage. In this stern of the boat, in this hold, nothing catches your eye.
I would like to quickly actually backtrack up the stairs, keeping my eye on the corner, grab a handful of snow and do what Wilhelm did. And just,
Okay.
yeah, because it was a
Just
good
sort
idea.
of arcing in this lower
Arcing it,
back
yeah.
area.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
Oof.
send the slowly fluttering flakes of white. Same as before, doesn't impact anything you weren't expecting.
Yeah. Okay. And then keep an eye out as they go. Yeah.
Wilhelm, Ryson, you both push forward through these hallways, not seeing anything unusual. There are bits of cobweb that cling to the arch over your head. It's kind of tight in here. Again, this isn't a very large vessel, and it seems like passengers would probably stay on the main deck. But you do see that in the bow of the boat, there's sort of a dip in elevation. This very front area is slightly recessed and seems to be meant for cargo. There are barrels and crates pushed up against the different walls. There is a small table that seems to have been made from a few discarded box lids that has a few assorted objects on it, roughly about here, and a lantern that is not currently lit.
Let's go ahead and sweep the area.
All right. What's the light
Um,
situation here?
Dim. There's some ambient light coming through
Okay.
like portholes and from the staircase.
Then I think the first thing that I would do as a human is walk up to that lantern that you spoke about and attempt to get it lit.
Okay. Do you have a tinderbox?
I will check my equipment, but I bet you I do because I love having it. I do.
Okay, then yeah, it's simple enough to get the lantern lit. You do see that the scattering of objects on this makeshift table include a couple of glassy blue-black crystalline fragments, as well as a map that is spread out with a couple of these fragments weighing it down on opposing corners. It appears to be a map of all of Icewind Dale. Give me another perception check.
Oh, come on. Nope, that's a 5.
There is a party inspiration out there.
Can I use that, guys?
Yeah,
How many
use
I
is it?
think
Use it.
now's the time.
Okay. Okay, that's a little better. That would be perceptions plus 3, 21. Yay.
21. All right. Very briefly, I'm going to put us back on the map page because you notice a couple of odd markings on this map.
Oh, okay.
I will bring them to the token layer for you. So if you will look in the south portion of this map,
Oh.
in the spine of the world, there are 2 markings indicating otherwise featureless locations.
Shiny, shiny.
One is what appears to just be a scrawled circle of ink here. And here is a very carefully illustrated black sun.
This one?
hmm
Interesting. Interesting.
Wow.
Well,
Oh,
I will, of course, as long as no one is accosting me, gather up this map and these objects.
I will cover Wilhelm while he does so.
Okay, so as you do, I would like everyone to roll for initiative.
Ah.
Actually, I take that back. It is getting late. We will start with the initiative roll at next week's session.
The suspense is killing me.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Just because it is late and some people have lives.
Mhm.
Not me.
Not
to be
me.
Sure.
Not me.
Are we gonna get to hot tub or not?
There will be no hot tub. Let us
Something else
not
to look
get
forward
into
to for next week.
Let
You
us
just
not.
jump in the lake, Ozzy.
That's
Yeah.
Osborne's
That's
bond
Polar
now.
plunge.
As
That would
he,
be a
as he
cold
seeks
tub.
hot
Grant's
tubbing.
trying to kill him with hypothermia right there.
Yeah, that'd be a cold tub, Grant.
Oh, right.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us this wonderful Wednesday night. We always appreciate having you here. Definitely feel free to check out our other programs. You can find our schedule for all of Neon Goblin's endeavors at twitter.com/goblinneon. I think it has also now been updated to reflect on our actual Twitch page when we have our other programs airing. James, tomorrow night I think is your new Curse of Strahd adventure with a little bit of a
Yes.
twist.
Yes,
deserve it.
tomorrow
You want to tell us
night.
a little bit about
Mhm.
that?
They deserve to die.
Oh,
Well, we're doing
That's
Curse of
creepy.
Strahd with a Southern Gothic bent to it.
Ooh.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
Eric,
okay,
Eric,
okay.
Producer Erica says that my Strahd sounds like Leonardo DiCaprio in Django. I don't know. If you've seen that.
Mm.
Oh
Um,
boy.
wow.
That's a
Oh, God.
terrifying image.
Okay, all
Uh,
right.
Ugh.
I love it.
Okay.
I didn't do that on purpose. That's just what it sounds like. So, yeah, of course it'll be many, many sessions before they actually encounter Strahd.
Okay. Well, yeah, stop in tomorrow. Check out this very interesting rendition of the new Curse of Strahd. And as always, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We love you all very, very much. Again, please check out our Twitter page for links to different organizations that you can donate to or even volunteer some time to make a difference in the lives of a terribly impacted community right now. To all of our Asian American and Pacific Islander friends, we are definitely holding you in our thoughts and wishing you a lot of love and peace right now in this very difficult time. Everyone else, we love you as well. Neon Goblin is so happy to bring you a little bit of chaos and fun every single week, and we will definitely try to do that again next week. So have a good night, everyone. We will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Good morning.